Hey guys, we're back. M.A.D.E in Richmond is back. I know we've kind of been MIA for a little while, but trust me, we are back better than ever. And it couldn't be a more perfect time to be back during this festive holiday. And we couldn't be more appreciative to have a special guest. I want to introduce to you Mr. Curtis Leroy Rice Jr. He is also a reverend and he does a lot of impactful, inspirational things in the community. So I want to invite you. What's up, man? How you doing?
Good, good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. What's up? How are things going on with you, man, during this kind of rough time in the world today?
Well, with this pandemic, I'm still enrolled into my doctoral degree program. So homework every day, you
Yeah.
know. So along with work and doing homework, so I stay pretty much busy, and also too with going to church as well. So I stay pretty active and busy.
Mm, So you're also a reverend as well.
Yes, yes, with New Direction Evangelistic Church,
How
where
long have
the
you been doing that?
pastors. I'm sorry.
How long have you been doing that?
Well, I've been with New Direction since 2011.
Wow. Okay. Wow. So are you the head pastor there, or are you like a type of person
Yeah,
you preach every
well,
now and again?
matter of fact, I just preached on Sunday. I'm one of the
Okay.
associate ministers. Matter of fact, I preached on Sunday, and the sermon was on maintain. Let's see, it was maintain, remain faithful to God.
Mm.
I'm sorry, remain fully faithful to God. Remain
Okay.
fully faithful to God. Yes, so I just preached on Sunday.
Wow. Okay.
But
Alrighty.
yeah,
So I
I'm
want to
just.
jump in.
Oh, go ahead.
mm, So I want to jump into the interview. So tell me about your upbringing and just about yourself, how you grew up, where you came from, stuff like that.
Well, I'm from Batavia, New York, upstate
Mm-hmm.
New York. See, people don't
Okay.
realize that there's an upstate New York.
Mm.
It's probably about 8 hours from New York City. So I lived there from till I was 18 until I went into I joined the Marine Corps at 18, and then I was stationed in the Marine Corps for 24 years, going stationed in California the majority of the time. California, also too is Kentucky, also too is Maryland. Then after I got out of the Marine Corps in 2007 in Maryland, and I stayed in Maryland from 2007 to 2011 before coming to Virginia.
So what made you go into the military?
Well, I, it was a job. Because I actually grew up working on from 13 to 18. I actually worked on a farm for
Mm.
13 yeah, from when I was 13 to 18, and I knew that farm work was something that I definitely didn't want to do. And then also too is I always had aspirations to go into the army,
Mm.
but when I went to sign up to go into the army didn't want to take me in the army, so I ended up going
Wow.
into the Marine Corps.
Okay. All right. So fast forwarding to like your daily life, like what are you doing other than like preaching and doing stuff in the community?
Well, also too is every year for 1 week, part of with the New Direction Evangelistic Church, we teamed up with
Mm.
another church with a local doctor up in Richmond. That she goes to Haiti. She actually goes to Haiti twice a year. She goes for a medical mission. Of course, her being a doctor, and also too is she goes in July because she loves to teach vacation Bible school. So also too
Mm.
is along with doing that, I do that, and also too is with a New Direction. We also too is we have outreach ministry that actually goes and outreaches up to Richmond, but because of the COVID, we haven't been actively engaged in doing that.
Yeah. So what made you become a reverend? Like what sparked your influence in it, or who
Well,
influenced you?
actually, it was when I was 13. I was actually I accepted Jesus Christ, my portion, the Lord and Savior, at 13. And then I always knew when I grew as growing up, I'd always emulate pastors all the time. So we actually had my dad actually had a 30-foot ladder in the garage, and then the kids from the community would come in. That would be my pews, and I would pretend like I was preaching to them. So I always
Mm,
knew that I had a calling, but I never actually engaged in that until actually 2002.
wow.
And then
Okay.
that's when 2002, and then actually 2006, where I actually accepted my calling as to go forth and to preach and teach God's word.
So as the church that you're preaching at now, is that where you first started, or was there another church you started at?
No, I actually started in Maryland, actually, because
Mm,
I was still active duty, and I actually started preaching at the chapel, the Aberdeen Proven Ground Gospel with the gospel service. So I actually started
mm,
preaching in Aberdeen. That's where I actually started preaching it. That's where actually where I actually got ordained. First of all, as a deacon when I was in Maryland. Then from a deacon, then I went to be a minister, and then after that, I got ordained as an elder underneath the church from in Hawaii, New Life Christian Church in Hawaii.
Did you ever preach while you were in the military?
Yes, yes. So
How
yeah,
was
I started preaching in 2004.
how was that experience with being, in the military and preaching at the same time? Like, where the how did the your other crewmates like kind of like receive the message that you were putting out?
Oh well, it was actually accepted, but also too is there was kind of like a clash what as far as what I was called to do, and also too is being in the military. And that's actually the reason why I ended up getting out because it was too much of a conflict, because the ways of the military was in conflict the way that my beliefs were, and
Yeah.
it just started to get to a point to where I said, okay, you know what, I just need to just go ahead and retire and go ahead and get out. So that's what I ended up doing.
How many years did you do?
I did 24 years and 27 days, but actually, who was counting? But yes.
Wow, got it down to the hour, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, when you were talking about the Haiti going there and volunteer work, what's that like? What's going on there?
I tell you, that was an actual beautiful experience. Because actually, when I was in Maryland, I actually attended Baltimore School of the Bible for 3 years, and every year, twice a year, we'd have a missions conference. And the last year that I was there, we had a missions conference. They asked, would you actually go on a missions? And I actually vowed that I would actually, if God called me to go on missions, I would go on a missions. And then it was back in 2015 where our co-pastor, um, First Lady Laura Foots, she had there. I was in the hallway, and she said that I need to go in the pastor's office, Bishop Foot's office. And I was like, okay, we don't want in trouble. She goes, just go ahead and go in there. And there was a one of the members. She actually worked for a local TV station. Her name was Joy Burnett, and she was actually presenting to our pastor Bishop Foots as far as teaming up with another church to actually go on a mission trip to Haiti. And after she got through briefing, then the pastor asked me, "What did I think?" I said, "I think it's a wonderful thing." Of course, I told him the story about that. I had said that when I was at Baltimore School of the Bible, that if God had called me to go on missions, I would go on missions. And he said, "Okay, well, okay, I'll agree that you can present it to the members, and somebody, whoever in the ministry wants to go, they can go ahead and go." What ended up happening is four of us ended up going over to Haiti, and since then, I've been going ever since. And I just love going over there to be a part of a ministry that goes over. Also, too, is we only not only teach vocation Bible school, but then also too is there's the mountainous area after Haiti had their earthquake, where people were displaced to the mountainous areas, and we actually go out there and minister to them, bring them clothes and different toiletry items and things that they need there, and it's just a wonderful experience to do that.
So, when you were there, like, what's the comparing? Can you really compare it to like U.S. day-to-day life? Like, how did you feel when you went over there?
I tell you, it's a very humbling experience because Haiti is the most impoverished country in the Western Hemisphere, and to go there and to see the things that they don't have and the things that we do have, it makes you really appreciate the things that it is that you have. I mean, even just as far as water, as far as them actually getting water. I mean, for the personnel that are displaced in the mountainous regions, they have to have water trucked in, but they have different ministries to pay for to have them to have water, to have it clean water to be trucked in there. So it's definitely a humbling experience to go and see the difference between how we live in the U.S. and how they live in Haiti.
Do you have, when you went there, did you meet anyone that you still keep in contact with today, like being a pastor or just a regular like Haiti citizen?
Oh yes, because matter of fact, the majority of the because we had a lot of translators. And
Hmm.
so the at the underneath we go to Haiti Outreach Ministries, and they actually team you up with translators when you go over there. So when you're actually teaching, you actually teach through a translator. And so all of the personnel, the translators, yeah, I'm still like Facebook friends. We still
Hmm.
communicate, on a daily basis, you know, even though we're not there, seeing how they're doing, what's going on with them over there, and what's going on with us over here. So yes, so the relationships that I established back in 2015, I still have them to this day.
So being on the topic of being having a translator with that like language barrier, like were they still receiving the message like we would hear?
Yes, and it was definitely when 2015, when my first experience talking to through a translator, there's an actual lag. So you say something, and then the translator, first of all, has got to understand what you say, and then to deliver that, and then even through that, but there's a lot to through body language, and
Hmm.
also through is you can because we're teaching children from 5 years to 14 years old, and they want to touch you, they want to hold your hand, and even though they're talking, and you look at the translator and say, okay, well, what did they just say? There's still that through body language that you can grasp what they're actually getting, even though you can't physically talk to them, but
Hmm.
through a translator, but through your body that you're still in there. It's like we go out to. There's times in the throughout the day that you actually go out on the playground and actually play with. So I mean, basketball is basketball. You don't have to
Yeah.
be able to communicate basketball, soccer, and it's just wonderful. One year we took um, sprayers over there, and they just love to spray each other with water. We took water balloons, and so that you don't have to have language to communicate. And so that's the part that I like also too, is going over there, because throughout the day we actually go out onto the soccer field and actually play games with them as well.
Hmm. So do you do you see yourself like having any other like ideas that you like? I mean, obviously we can't go, over there now due to COVID and all of that, but like when we actually can go back, do you have any like other ideas that you can bring there, like for, saying you set up your own like kind of church thing, or is that an option for you?
Oh yes, matter of fact, because I truly believe that because I finished in March. I'm sorry, May 9th. I graduated from Sammy DeWitt Proctor School of Theology with a master's in Christian education, and then now that I'm going to Regent University for a doctorate in Christian education leadership. I truly believe that God has called me to do some aspects of education over in Haiti. I don't
Mm.
know to what extent, but I mean they have mission teams. They have continuously being going over there and being birthed over there. Because matter of fact, the ministry that we go underneath, Haiti Outreach Ministry, the pastor there, he was actually friends with. He had actually came to the United States to go to seminary, and he
Mm.
actually teamed up with an American here, and that's how they ended up starting Haiti Outreach Ministries. That's been going on for 20 years. So I truly believe that through all the education that God has in some form or some fashion for me to do something um, as far as in the educational field over in Haiti.
Hmm. Well, I'm really excited for you. So, coming up on our final topic, do you see yourself in like near future or just in, kind of later on down the line, kind of having like your own or revamping your church or going on and, kind of moving to your own thing?
Well, I love our pastor, Bishop Dr. Roy L. Foots, and also too is our co-pastor Laura C. Foots. And one thing it is that I love about the ministry is because there's been a lot of things been birthed through New Direction. They've had different educational programs. If anything that God places on your heart to establish, what you do is you sit down with them and they see how it fits with the ministry. And like I said, there's been various different programs. Like I said, Haiti, for us going on to Haiti, we've been doing that since 2015. Those That's just another aspect. So as God leads me, if there's something that ties in, of course I'll take it to my pastor and co-pastor and sit down with them and see how it will fit, because I know they're big on ministry. They're big on going outside of the four walls, and that's
Hmm.
what I love about them too. Just like also too is we have like I said, we have the outreach ministry that we do as well. So they're all about taking learning inside the church, but also too is going outside in the local community. Just like every year they have a big um, uh, picnic for the community to come to and to enjoy and to come together as one. So something in the near future, I truly believe that that because I do love to do education, that I will sit
Hmm.
down and once God reveals something to me, that I'll sit down with my pastor and co-pastor and to sit down and discuss those things with them. So I think because I still have because I just started my doctoral program, so I have 4 more years
Hmm.
in
Yeah.
that. So within that time frame, I'm pretty sure there'll be something that will come up and that I'll be able to discuss with them, and we'll see how to go forward with that.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for being our special guest. And I want to wish you the best in your doctorate endeavors. And I hope one day I can visit your church and see you preach.
Well, amen. Well, thank you for having me.
No problem. No problem. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
All righty. All right, guys. We want to thank you so much for tuning in to Made in Richmond and seeing our very special guest. Remember, this is the one of many coming soon. I know we took a long time, we took a long break, but we're back on it and we're going to have better shows, better than ever. So stay tuned and always remember, Made in Richmond, make your day. Oops. All right. So always remember these words. What are you made of? Thank you so much. See you guys next time.